are here with Renato Ascoli, who is the CEO of IGT North America and of IGT Interactive. And I think, as we all know, IGT has undergone an enormous transformation over the past year or two since its merger with G2E, which previously was Lottomatica. And it's now a company that has headquartered technically, I guess, in London, and it has an Italian CEO, and it's got its bulk of its slot machine business here in North America. So it's in an industry that is global. Certainly IGT, the word international game technology is certainly true.
Right.
Renato, since you're relatively new to the U.S. and to your job, tell us a little bit about your personal story.
Okay, more than happy. But by the way, let me thank you for pronouncing Ascoli in the proper way. I know it took some hard work on your side, but actually I'm known as Ascoli. But I want to make a public statement. Ascoli is the proper way to call my surname. Whatever you choose will be fine. I'm from Italy. I was born in Varese. Varese is a small town close to the Swiss border. So to many Italians, I would be considered half Swiss. That I can tell you is not a compliment. I was born and raised there. I had university in Milano, Bocconi. I had graduated in economics. I started as a consultant, organization and strategy within an Italian company there. I had a long time in the Italian railway system, where I played different roles, from being a CFO, then a sales agent, then a business unit division head, and finally a head of operations. I joined the gaming business in 2006, joining Lottomatica. I managed the operations in Italy until 2012, when I was asked to take over a worldwide role, and so I moved from Rome to Providence. And when the merger with IGT was done, I was asked to join the gaming interactive business. And I was specifically asked to, say, blend the two organizations in the gaming segment. This is why I'm here today.
The gaming industry is made up of people who were born and raised in the gaming industry. And in fact, in this town in Las Vegas, that is literally true. You can find executives in this industry whose fathers and grandfathers were in the gaming industry. You come from a more diverse background, including transportation. What lessons did you learn in these other industries that are applicable to gaming?
Yeah, in fact, my kids would say, well, you're not a serious person, so you played with trains, now you're playing with games. So everybody would like to do that kind of job. But the truth is, the railway system in Europe, and more importantly in Italy, is highly regulated. Is very, very dependent upon a number of rules that not only determine what is the way to provide safe services to the community, but also they provide very strict conditions to competition. So I think that one of the key, let's say, elements of my bio that interested Lottomatica back in 2006 was my capacity to deal with regulators, with complex situations where laws and further regulation are so important to run the business, ultimately.
Now, we'll talk about IGT. IGT, historically, we've all known it as the world's largest gaming technology company.
Yeah.
Now today, it's an international, you might almost call it a gaming conglomerate.
Right.
You're responsible for North America and Interactive. What are the strategies for North America and Interactive, and how have they changed, or have they changed from the pre-merger days?
Well, they haven't changed much, actually. We were fortunate enough, and I need to thank you, the previous leadership team in the legacy IGT, to have allowed us to have a deep understanding of the business and the way they were approaching the business. So there was no major surprise since the consolidation took place. The strategy in North America gaming is actually based on a number of pillars. The first pillar is actually listen to customers, or what we used to say, customer first. And a way to describe it is, just think, so we have an overwhelming amount of R&D capacity to spend, which is over 300 million per year. So what really matters is to focus on key priorities. we saw that in some areas the connection with the market was not that strong in the legacy IGT, and that was translated into a reduced market share. So we decided to start from the customer, asking them what would they see in the current portfolio and what direction would they recommend to us. And this is why we actually pick up a very, very fruitful and useful tool that legacy IGT had in place, which is called CAB, which is the acronym for Customer Advisory Board. And back in June this year, we asked about 40 people from 40 different operators to stay with us for a couple of days and ruthlessly tell us what was wrong, what should we fix. And we are using those information in order to fine-tune, even change some direction in a quite an effective way. And the information that we got is really invaluable. So not only in terms of overall strategy, so where to concentrate, clearly we need to focus a bit more on the core video reels, but they also gave us very important, say, tactical solutions. Just imagine, I think that the item all the customers were so vocal about were the station charging on the slot machine. So they want all their players to have the opportunity to recharge their smartphone there. And this is why we tweaked the R&D process immediately. So that's the first pillar, I would say. Customer first, listen to customer. The second would be player focus. And let me be, let's say, clear enough in saying this is probably the area where we as former GTech can bring the most. We have a lot of B2C experience, so we are a bit more practiced and trained to understand what players' needs look like. And so this is the area where we think we can introduce a higher degree of testing and higher degree of market research before launching products into the market share. We, for instance, do not ever suggest to adopt a new content without having it tested, at least for 3 months. Our discipline would tell us to keep it on the floor, leveraging some operators' willingness to do so for 3 months, and take the last month performance as an indicator of the likelihood of a content to be successful in the market. The third pillar would be, I think, talents. We are desperately looking for talents, and we are hiring talents. So as well as we are managing synergies, we are deliberately looking for key talents that can introduce fresh blood in the new company. And content, as I said, content is the key of the competition today, and we are focusing very much on that.
Well, content is king, as they say. And I believe that this is where we take a little break.
All right.
And we have some examples of some content that I think you would probably like to boast about a little bit.
This is newly received babies from Global Gaming Awards, as you see here. Honestly, I couldn't be happier today, because actually these are all about products. So apparently somebody decided that the new S3K was considered to be the best product for the year, and the power back solution, by the way, is a very interesting concept. It actually shows the convergence between the land-based operations and interactive operations is a very, very good one. So I'm proud of these.
Well, tell us about interactive, because you're also responsible for that, and IGT certainly hit a home run with Double Down.
Yeah, sure.
So tell us a little bit about interactive and your outlook for that.
But clearly, there's no difference compared to gaming, so all the things we commented before are true for interactive as well. There's one additional component, if I may, which is all related to multi-channel distribution. So there's a clear tendency in the player's nature, first of all, and in our operators and our customers' attitude, to offer the opportunity to play the same game on different devices. So you want to offer this in a casino, but you want to allow a similar experience on a tablet, on a PC, on a smartphone. And so I think this is where the market is going. And we, very humbly, have the opportunity to make that happen and to leave it there to our customers. It's also a major opportunity to test, coming back to the testing or the proof of concept analysis. before launching a product to the market. Just think, so if you want to reassure customers, if you're able to say the interactive space, a specific content has proved to be solid, he will be probably more eager to make investment in that area. And so this is why, for instance, we are launching here G2E 2 new contents in the core area, which actually are entirely derived from an interactive space. One is called, I think, Bubble Craze, and the other one is, I think, is a declination of the Da Vinci Diamonds, one of the many concepts we are there. But again, the key message here, we can usually utilize our interactive presence or the social presence of Double Down as an initial test for all the content that we'll be distributing going forward.
There is a convergence of technology.
Yeah.
There are disruptive sort of games. You know, we see the excitement here in the U.S. over daily fantasy sports, and now even newer than daily fantasy sports is esports, which is sort of a betting exchange in the daily fantasy sports world. Tell us a little bit about these, and you've touched upon it a little bit when you talked about being able to play on any device. Tell us a little bit more about where IGT might be headed in all of these new emerging disruptive sort of games and technologies, many of which are related to the internet.
Yes. Well, first of all, I usually prefer to pay attention to the tendency in the player's attitude, and clearly that should be the starting point. Technology can follow, should follow, I would say. We are running an experiment nowadays with MGM, as you are probably aware, which is the possibility to offer MGM players, punters, the opportunity to place a bet on a mobile device. This is what we call the on-premises solution. And if you think of it, is really the quintessence of the coming together of the different components of these companies. So we are offering, in fact, an interactive solution. We are using our, let's say, mobile capabilities, taken mainly from an acquisition that we had 1 year ago. It's called Probability, a UK-based company. We are leveraging our knowledge of the sports betting, so we know how to manage those books. We do that in Italy. We do for a number of jurisdictions in the world. We can offer through the same channel casino games, say legacy casino games, and of course we need to stay close to the central system of an operator. So all these 5 different components of technology can be combined together and offer to a player sitting in a bar, or say sunbathing in a swimming pool, the opportunity not to queue up for the March Madness, but just place a bet on their mobile. To me, that should be convenience, and that should be good news for our players. So,
good. Final question: what else is there that you would like folks to understand about IGT? Our core client is the institutional investor, and I know that you don't speak for IGT corporate,
right.
but if you'd like to touch on that, that would be fine too.
I don't know. I would say that we have some good track record in a number of things. I would say probably that it should be reported that we are able to innovate, so we are able to introduce new things in a market. We are, let's say, usually reliable in executing, in delivering results. As you probably know, Spilo, so the Spilo component of the legacy IGT was actually losing money at the time of the acquisition back in 2007, 2008. It was worth about 100 million euro EBITDA last year, so we can manage turnaround. And I think we can motivate people, which is ultimately the key resource that you need to leverage upon if you want to deliver success. And finally, there probably would be the best news for financial institution. We are very disciplined in, let's say, capital management. So each and every project, each and every investment we make in any segment of the business, be it gaming, interactive, or lottery, is fully analyzed, and we kick off and sign off an investment only if we have solid plans for good returns for the company.
One of the things that is true with IGT, and it's probably true with your rival Scientific Games as well, is that you have created not just global companies, but you have created very complicated companies. In a sense, you just touched upon that, the ability to manage all those many, many moving parts.
I think it's true. I think that we have a little advantage in this area because of the nature of the legacy IGT and legacy GTech. So the level of overlap in the pure business activity was very minimal. There's a high degree of complementarity between our business and theirs. Just think of the gaming business. So IGT was all about casinos. Legacy Spilo was more on the VLT side of the business with a minimal presence in casinos. We were strong in lotteries. They had doubled down. We have a very strong relationship with regulators and lotteries. They have a wonderful relationship with casino operators. So this drives it to the synergies that I was touching upon before. So the synergies we are delivering now, and by the way, we feel very confident about the statement that we made, are coming mainly from non-business related functions. So overheads, these kind of things. There's not a lot of coming together in the other segment, other than, I would say, manufacturing. And as you probably know, we are completing the knowledge transfer to Reno. New machines will be delivered in Reno. The sales team is a single sales team now. The field services also have been centralized. But again, this was not particularly heavy and not very hard on people as well.
Okay. Well, we've covered, Renato, a lot of space in a very short period of time. Thanks very much.
Thank you for inviting me. See you shortly.